Do you need light?
A little bit of light would be good.
Let's light some.
I mean, I was going to put on my phone, but it is fairly dark up here. Yay!
Unsquashable Premier League Division 1 first round match between Upper Fatialofa and Glen Templeton. Upper the serve, play ring ready. Bubble. And up, one up.
And ladies and gentlemen, welcome along to this week 4, the final week of the Unsquashable Premier League here in Auckland at the SquashXL Club. And already play is underway. This is in the Division 1 play. It is round robin for the final week. And we have Glen Templeton in the blue shirt against Upper Fatialofa, not Leo Fatialofa. This is his younger brother, just 15, already a New Zealand rep in age groups. So in the black, Upper Fatialofa, and in the blue, it is Glen Templeton, who you're familiar with if you've been looking at the last 3 weeks of the tournament. Looking at the matches today, we have this match, followed by Jack Conder, the human pinball, against Michael Shelton-Agar. And then for the Premier Top Division, it's Joe Arscott against Elijah Thomas, followed by Chileshe against Leo Fatialofa. And already in this very quick match, you're seeing Upper Fatialofa, who has some of the traits of his of the Fatialofa family. Plenty of flary shots, albeit that he is just 15. Plenty of touch as well on his shots, with that deft little drop shot there as well. This is the first time that he has been in this competition, so it's good to have a variety of people throughout the 4 weeks, just to shake it up a little bit and give everybody a bit of experience as well. And nice shot there from Glen Templeton, putting it into the corner, making it very difficult for Upper Fatialofa to retrieve. And it'll be a nice test for Upper Fatialofa, just to see how well he can handle the older opponent, more experienced opponent. Of course, Templeton is 19 years old. He does have a world ranking as well, so plenty of experience, and has been playing in this competition for the last 3 weeks. And putting that short ball away, had plenty of options there, Glen Templeton, so moving out to a good lead now. And good control there on the volley. That's what you'll see from Templeton in this match. And it's just a matter of Templeton being able to control it. Someone like Fatialofa, as we've seen from Mason Smales as well, another youngster who was in week 2. Plenty of talent, it's just a matter of the consistency factor. And nice play there by Fatialofa, using the angle, taking the pace off the ball. A little bit of a boast off the wall as well. Everything going for it on that particular shot. So you do have 2 teenagers, albeit that Glen Templeton's a fairly solid teenager. Must be about 6'4". And as we've mentioned, Upper Fatialofa is just 15 years old. And so a quick run through there for Glenn Templeton in the first game. That was 11-4 in just under 5 minutes' time. And that was over Upper Fatialofa, 15-year-old, not Leo. Leo will be in the Premier League part in the top division very shortly, or later on this evening, that is. So Glenn Templeton taking the first, 11-4 over Upper Fatialofa.
One of those ones where the bounce is funny and you need a front footing The problem here is the front, because the front it will hit and then come out and spin. It looks like it's going out very easy. But once you get down here, from the back 2/3 of the line, if you think it's out, it's out. Yeah? But when it's going out, and then it drops in, but you think, but you see it happen, if it's out, you call it out.
Returning now for this, the second game. It is the first match of Week 4, the Unsquashable Premier League. And Glenn Templeton against Upper Fatialofa. Templeton just 18, ranked 357 in the world. He won the first game 11-4 over the 15-year-old Upper Fatialofa. Fatialofa coming from the Henderson Squash Club, very popular family-orientated club in West Auckland. And they also claim Templeton as well, although he is catty in the Bay of Plenty. Nice recovery, almost a nice recovery by Fatialofa. And if anybody's watching from around the world, feel free to let us know where you are around the world, where you are watching. We do have 3 other matches later on this evening as well. A nice play by Fatialofa. He does have good touch. It seems to go with the family name. That you'll see good touch, plenty of ability. But just playing on this glass court and against someone senior and against someone who was ranked internationally, it's going to take a lot of thinking and a lot of patience for Fatialofa. Shot. Oh, that ball just stayed incredibly low from the boast from deep in the court. And no chance there for Fatialofa, who thought he probably had it, but dropped very short. And Upper Fatialofa, one of a number of players who unfortunately lost the opportunity to play in the Trans-Tasman series. with that series to be held in the Gold Coast, Australia. That cancelled. But he'll be trying to do his best when it comes to the national championships for the junior championships to be held in Christchurch in October, later in the year here. In the South Island, it'll be good to see him, see what he can do there.
9-3.
So Glenn Templeton continuing on his good form in this match so far. As Fatialofa has the talent, just probably needs a couple more matches to actually see what he can do against these more experienced players. And top shot. Putting it out of the reach of the, well, I guess Glenn Templeton, who has a big reach, which is very hard to do. And there we go, that is the second game as well, going to Glenn Templeton. Taking that so up, 2 games to love, and this the first match of what is a very busy night of good matches as well. Don't forget we do have Jack Conder against Michael Shelton-Agar, followed by Joel Arscott against Elijah Thomas and Chileshe against Leo Fatialofa, all here at the SquashXL Club in Avondale, Auckland. We're back with the third game of this, the first match, Glenn Templeton against Upper Fatialofa, very shortly. Possibly the longest rally of the match so far. It's Leo Fatialofa putting in a good shot with Glenn Templeton not being able to quite reach the drop. As we enter into the early stages of the third game, it is Templeton who has taken the first 2 games 11-4 and 11-4. The second match tonight will be Jack Conder against Michael Shelton-Agar. Should be an interesting match. Conder, one of the big improvers of this tournament series. And We just saw there some nice touch by Apa Fatialofa, the 15-year-old, holding the ball very well. And again, very good touch. Apa Fatialofa not afraid to actually hold the ball on his racket. Rather than going for a big shot, quite likes paying forward. Oh, around the back. Great rally, around the back shot there. You've got to appreciate that. Let us know what you think of the 15-year-old Apa Fatialofa and his shot selection so far. Oh, great deft little drop shot which stayed low, right in the against the wall as well. Very difficult for Glenn Templeton to get to. And a bit closer in this, the third game. 5 points so far to Apa Fatialofa. Just trying to push it too much, trying too much on that ball. Oh, and that one just died off the serve. And the backhand corner, right at the back of the court. Good to have you with us, Katie Templeton from Caddy Caddy. Of course, Glenn is a Caddy Caddy player, even though Henderson is trying to claim him. And another good touch from Apa Fatialofa. He does have very good touch out in front. A lot of players would have gone for a bigger shot, but he uses the touch, uses the drop, and a spin there as well. Nice play off the volley. So you can see that he has plenty of touch, plenty of shots, only 15. Plenty of potential as well. Apa Fatialofa just dropped in. Oh, well, there you go. It is a win in straight to Glenn Templeton. Well done. Efficient performance, but certainly Apa Fatialofa showing plenty of shots. He's got a good selection of shots there as well. And eventually going down in straight. It was 11-4, 11-4, and we had a 11-6 as well in the final. So that was a short match. But for a lot of people, it's a short match is a good match, certainly for Glenn Templeton as well. He's played a lot of matches over the last few weeks. This is week 4 of 4. And well done, Glenn Templeton, winning that one. Up next is Jack Conder, the human pinball, against Michael Shelton-Agar. That one's not too far off as well. There is plenty of good matches today. And welcome to Winona Joe Joyce as well, who is trying to get that keyboard working. Great to have you watching. Of course, Jack Conder up next against Michael Shelton-Agar, then Joel Arscott against Elijah Thomas, and finally tonight it is Chileshe and Leo Fatialofa. So stick with us, plenty of good squash in this, the final week. It is round robin week of the Unsquashable Premier League.
my ref? Yeah, just in case. You know, she's not always on time, is the lovely Heather. What's that? Oh my god.
What time is the next one?
6:45. You need to practice. You need to practice. You're actually getting good at this. No chance.
Oh, okay. Jack wants to coach him.
He what?
Jack's asking you to coach him, but he still doesn't know how to do it.
Does he want the best?
He just needs to get the ball to the arm. Oh, I see what you're saying. You'd rather take it off the top. Now, you just don't like him giving you strokes, eh? Wrong.
Hosey, are you playing the? Well, next week's Northern Open, right? You've entered, yeah.
Yep.
Cool. All right. So you're going to be ready?
Ready?
Yeah.
That's in the line.
As in ready?
Yes.
Are you ready to play? Yeah.
Yep.
Mentally ready.
Yep.
Your fitness is what it is.
Yeah. I just need to. Well, I mean, the other day, Joel was like asking me to hit as hard as I can, but apparently I was hitting like real weak, so
Yeah.
I kind of just need to. I mean, I haven't got coached on it yet because I've only been training during beta, but I think
It's a good drill. It's a good drill to once in a while just play hitting with full pace. The easiest solution is just like super high early racket prep.
Yeah, like what is that? Winding up or something.
Yeah, no, but you've just got to get your prep super early compared to what you think, and then all you have to do is just lift, and then you can go on every shot. But if you're not there, you waste all that time trying to get your racket there, and then you can't wind. Basically.
Yeah, you just did the thing. Ah, you just did the thing. Talk to me again. What do you want me to do in ice squash? You already entered the thing. They haven't been entered yet. We're entering them after I bring them in. Yeah, I'm editing them now. Okay, you.
Any commentary from Sinister Dark again? Surely. Is this like George paying for his shoes, is it, Joel? Whose tea towel is that, mate? I hope you... Who ironed it? Yeah, you're kidding. Funny that.
When are the lads going? Oh, I got my diet today.
Oh, give me an update on that one, son.
Do you want to start forward to you?
Yeah, no, just tell me about it. Fill me in.
Yeah. Didn't hear it?
Yeah. You need to download some. What changes? What changes? What stays the same?
Changes? None of these or? Start today or start tomorrow? Yeah, I'm going to start on Monday. You know what they say about starting on Monday?
Monday never comes.
It's pretty easy.
All right, which one of you guys is doing commentary on this one?
I can do it.
Go on, bro.
He's increased my eggs for lunch. I think 4 now. 4 eggs for lunch.
Oh my god, I'm going to see you clocking soon, eh?
So, breakfast is 1 cup of oats, 1 banana, a handful of berries, and 1.5 scoops of protein powder. So I have to buy some protein powder.
Yeah, sure.
I need to. And nothing for morning tea. And lunch is 4 eggs, 3 pieces of bread, and 3 pieces of bacon. And then afternoon tea is 180 grams of Greek yogurt. Yeah, and it tastes good. I kind of like vanilla though. And 100 grams of granola.
Yeah.
So it's afternoon tea.
Yeah.
And then dinner is 250 grams of either steak or lips or chicken.
Yeah.
With 400 grams of potato.
Yeah.
And 1 to 2 cups of mixed veggies.
Yeah.
Salad. And half avocado.
Yeah.
And then before bed, a protein shake.
Cool.
It's about the same as me.
Oh, come on.
Yours was way more.
I'm into like half a cup.
What's in your hand? What's in your finger?
Yeah, you're just going to test me and see.
No, what's in your hand? What's in your left hand?
Oh, it's a multiplier.
There you go. Yeah, pearls. You're just eating all the time.
I'm
I was like, right,
top 5 minutes back.
5. What was your body like? 10 No.
My body fat percentage is
If you were 8, I would be like 10. Weird, huh? They take quite all the parts of the body, so. I'm going to dump bench like once a week. Straight up there. Because I've been measuring.
So, Timwa, is that less calories than what you're eating right now?
No, it's good because it just means I can never like snack.
Yeah. You're not supposed to snap.
You're not supposed to, but you still will.
Yeah.
Oh, what?
Well, you've got like the
I
gatekeeper
had
here.
tried having 4 eggs today and it was so hard. I nearly felt sick. How many lolly bags did you say you
But if you haven't snacked, if you haven't snacked,
Shut up. You just see, he has like a whole bag of Skittles like every night. Yeah, but look at him. Where's this more than what I'm eating?
they should be on court, yeah. Shelton, Conder.
No, Jack will do the next one. Not the record, champ.
And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, for this, the second match of the opening day of Week 4 of the Unsquashable Premier League. It is on court Michael Shelton-Agar wearing the blue, and in the white t-shirt it is Jack Conder, nicknamed the Human Pinball. This is the... well done on the volley there. This is the second match of the Division 1. The following two matches with Joel Arscott against Elijah Thomas and also Chileshe against Leo Fatialofa. They are both the Premier Division. The winner of the first contest was Glenn Templeton over 15-year-old Upper Fatialofa in straight games. And we're going to be joined by Chileshe shortly. He'll join me for some commentary of this match. And the 17-year-old there, Jack Conder, has improved out of sight during these past 3 to 4 weeks. Enjoyed competing against players with PSA rankings. And Michael Shelton-Agar, unorthodox at times, but he's certainly put in some performances that are perhaps unscheduled, perhaps unexpected as well, and given players a good go with shots like that. So Jack Conder will throw himself around the court and will come up with different shots. What he has developed over these few weeks is more consistency. He is only 17 years old, whereas Shelton-Agar 21 years old, so the most experienced and oldest in this tournament. And great to have supportive players and those watching from around the country and elsewhere from overseas as well. Nice shot there from Conder. Very deep boast. Don't forget to tell your friends as well that they can watch this tomorrow and Sunday as well from 3 p.m. until around about 6 o'clock, both of those days. Here we are with the rally slowed down the backhand side. See who's going to break first. Ooh, just about dying right in the backhand corner. And a nice shot. Good play by Shelton-Agar. Taking the pace off that final shot, letting it drop down low. And when you watch Shelton-Agar play, he seems almost, in the nicest possible way, a little bit lethargic the way he moves around the court. But again, he gets there, and perhaps it's what puts off some of his opponents. This really is a top rally, the longest so far. So Shelton-Agar taking it eventually, willing to play out the rally and wait for the mistake. And right into that backhand corner, the ball dies a little bit cooler outside and certainly wetter. Better play by Jack Conder. He's got to play deep. And joined now by Chileshe, who I think is that instant coffee.
Yes, this is
oh my goodness,
coffee.
Instant coffee. I haven't had one of those since overnight radio days.
Yeah, it's been a while. I thought today was the day for it.
Yeah, it is one of those
It's
days.
chilly tonight.
It is getting into winter in Auckland, New Zealand. So Chileshe just joining me, and that is the first game there to Shelton-Agar. I think it's so taking the first game. But then with these two players, there is no real surprises. They're both very good at surprising everyone.
Yeah. It's going to be an interesting match. They played a few times now. These last couple of weeks. Probably is it every week? I know they played at least twice.
Yeah.
I remember Jack was up 2-0 the first time and then lost in 5. And then I think Michael won the next one in 4. And they might have had another one, I'm not too sure.
Yeah, they certainly have played each other quite a bit over these last 4 weeks. So we're into week 4, the final week of the Unsquashable Premier League. And some good matches coming up. You've got to take on Leo Fatialofa in the final match of tonight. And Joel Arscott against Elijah Thomas. Those guys must be sick of each other as well.
Yeah, I know. I think we're all a bit sick of each other by now.
Well, it is the last time. So if you want to win that extra little bit of prize money and sort of finish it off in a good sense, you can't you don't want to fade away now.
Yeah, no, you definitely don't. Yeah. Especially because now it's like little round robins of like you got the top half and then the bottom half. So it'd be quite nice to win that top half.
And we're quite happy for people to come through with their comments. Jackson made a comment about your chat there, saying that you're a bit weak there. I think he's trolling you.
That is Jackson Hawksby. Yeah, he always trolls me. I probably have a Snapchat from him as well.
Yeah, he's definitely
cheeky.
Trolling you.
That's cheeky.
All right, come through with any comments. Make them clean. I'm sure you'll get some a little bit more trolling later on. So we'll come back with the second game very shortly between Shelton-Agar and Jack.
15 seconds.
And back in for the second game of the second match. Already they started quick on this one.
Ferocious pace.
Yeah, they're really tonking
Yeah.
it. And Chileshe with me. You've won 2 of these 3 weeks so far.
Yep, so far. 2 out of the 3.
Not bad.
Yeah, no, it's good so far.
I think
so far so good.
John Duggan's got to really dislike paying you.
Yeah, I think I'm cleaning out his bank account.
He might take it as rent.
Yeah. I'd say I owe him a bit more than that for rent.
Oh, almost. So yeah, feel free to comment and come on through and say where you are, what you're doing, if you're actually getting to play any squash as well. It's been great to have squash over the last 4 weeks, hasn't it?
Yeah, it's been awesome. Seeing some familiar faces. It's been some high quality squash as well.
A couple of really good all-court rallies from both of these players.
A couple of what, sorry?
All-court rallies where the ball's just been front-back.
Yeah. It is quite random, eh? It's not really much of a structure so far.
Well, you don't really expect structure with the way these two play.
No, you don't. You definitely don't. I'm surprised that the pace is so high, though. That surprised me. I thought Michael maybe would have tried to slow things down.
Yeah, it just really has been this particular game so far. The first was a mixture. There was a couple of rallies where Michael did slow it down a little,
Oh, yeah.
take his time and test the patience of the younger player.
Yeah, that's when Michael's quite good. I think Jack's the one who likes to play at that quick speed.
I think it's just him.
Yeah. Just his
So
personality.
What happens for you next week?
Next week?
Yeah, is it just interclub?
No, we're playing Northland Open.
Yes.
Me and Joel and some of the locals at XL are travelling over, and we're going to play that, so it should be quite good.
There'll be quite a few players. I guess you'll get Riley Jack.
Yeah, he's a local over there, isn't he? I think so. I think we might get even Finn Trimble.
No, okay.
He might be over there as well, but who knows? I'm not sure if he's still playing at the moment, but it'd be cool if we saw him.
Well, that'll be good. So Northland Open, not too far away. It'd be good to have that.
Yeah.
And good to have possible different players in as well. So at least there is some local tournaments around where you can go and play.
Yeah, it's cool, eh? It's cool that they're finally starting up. I've seen a few more on Facebook today.
Nice dive.
Oh, great drive.
Oh, he recovered.
Oh, great
Well
rally.
played. Amazing that Jack managed to recover from that and still scoop it out of the back wall as well.
Yeah. It's the first dive of many, I think, today from Jack.
Oh, not this time.
Michael's hunting that cross court, isn't he, quite well?
Yeah.
I've seen that a few times.
Oh, that's a nice shot. Just chopped it a bit, so it was never going to bounce back off the wall that much. You want to describe that shot?
Oh, no, I don't. I saw he did a between the legs drop last time we played Michael. Was it Michael?
I think it was.
Oh, shot. So that's nothing new from Jack?
No, there was some real variety in there.
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
textbook at all. I think they just sort of, I think he just faded a little bit and thought, I'll just try any shot to get it over and done with.
Looks that way.
So that is the second game to Michael Shelton-Agar, leading 3. Now Jack Conder dropping that one. Let's see what he can do when he comes back after this break. We'll be back also with Chileshe. All right, let's get underway now with this, the third game. Shelton-Agar in the blue against Jack Conder in the white. And for Jack, Tenwa, he was just a little bit off near the end of that second game, sort of, and decided to be, but I hesitate to say a little bit lazy, but he just decided to be a bit slack.
Yeah, because you don't normally see that from Jack. Normally he just
No.
keeps fighting until the end. But that was quite interesting, I think. I think it shows how dominant Michael's been at the start of
Yeah.
this.
Well,
At the
there
start
you
of this
go.
match, yeah.
And this is one of the things, as a youngster, as a 17-year-old, you've got to fire up all the time.
Yeah. Especially sometimes when it's just not your day.
Yeah.
And sometimes when you just keep going and going, it starts to pay off.
Because I mentioned that Jack has really improved over these last 3 or 4 weeks. He's improved because he's been around players like yourself. He's been practicing and playing
Yeah.
3 days a week.
Yeah. Just that little bit more.
Yeah.
Around high caliber
So his
players,
game
yeah.
has improved.
Yeah, definitely.
In week 1 it was just bang, crash, bang, crash.
Quite
Added
random.
some consistency.
Yeah.
Perhaps not in this game,
Yeah, no. I think it's probably the best I've seen Michael play, actually.
but yeah.
Well, in terms of his error rate and his length's a bit better, a bit deeper, as you can see there, which really sets him up for that front of the court.
The other thing is, by the time you get to Sunday, and if you're not in the semi-finals or if you're not in the final on Sunday, it can be hard to motivate yourself about finishing 5th and 6th or 7th and 8th.
Yeah, definitely. It definitely has an effect. Jack getting quite lucky there.
Yeah, exactly. That was, I wouldn't call it a sitter, but it was certainly an opportunity to put it away for a winner.
Yeah. It's a good enough there.
Oh, into that back corner again.
How do you reckon the court's acting tonight compared to the other weeks?
Compared to the other Friday nights, we haven't seen a great deal of balls going into either corner just
Yeah,
yet. There's
no,
been a
we
few
haven't.
fades in the backhand, not so much in the right, in the forehand corner. Been a few fades. Doesn't appear to have been quite as bad.
Yeah.
When I say bad, in the wrong word. However, we haven't quite seen the long, lengthy rallies down the backhand side.
Yeah, no, I think it's quite, must be
these two
quite dead on
matches
there
yet.
tonight.
I expect to see that in the next match when you have Elijah against Joel.
Yeah, that'll be good. That'll be good.
And for you against Leo, again with Leo, you know that you're going to have possibly quicker rallies.
Yeah, quicker rallies, shorter, sharper movements.
And he doesn't like playing long backhand rallies. He'll switch on shot number 3.
Yeah.
It seems to be programmed in him.
He'll go for something, yeah. Yes, I think a court like today probably benefits someone like Leo,
Yeah,
but it's a bit dead.
yeah.
Get those
He
quicker
loves
points.
stepping up. He loves stepping up and
Yeah.
changing direction or holding. Oh, out. Well, slightly better game for Jack Conder in this one, but he's managed a few more points. I wouldn't say it's his best either, but he has managed a few points so far in this particular game.
Yeah, I think he's got a few errors out of Michael, hasn't he?
Yeah, which is a turnaround anyway from the first 2 games.
Yeah.
That's better play.
Even a good serve on this court today can really set you up, can't it? It's not really coming out of those back corners.
Yeah, well, that's an unforced error. And giving away an opportunity to actually force the score himself, Jack. And now Shelton-Agar with his lackadaisical serve. Now we've got the rally down the backhand side. Who's going to break first? Yep,
Good
agree
call
with that.
there. Yeah, great call there from Hassan.
I think we're up to about a dozen or so shots down the backhand side. Both
The
players
most down the
waiting.
backhand we've seen, this match.
Yeah. And great to have a supporter from Port Lincoln in South Australia, not too far away from Adelaide. You are watching a 17-year-old in white, that is Jack Conder, one of the better juniors around New Zealand, against Michael Shelton-Agar, 21-year-old. This is the Division 1 part of the tournament. Not too far away we'll have Joel Arscott, who is ranked 235. It's 235 in the world. Let's rally this one though. And so, as we were saying, not too far away, Joel Arscott, 235 against Elijah Thomas, 257 in the world, followed by my co-commentator, Chileshe, and up against Leo Fatialofa. Oh, nice undercut on that.
Yeah.
This is one of those slower rallies, but now sped up a bit. Oh, not on that one. Wow, the comeback.
The comeback is real.
Yeah,
Comeback is on, isn't it?
it was looking a little bit shaky on the initial part of that third game, but much more impressive effort, wouldn't you say, Timwa, to be a bit more patient?
Yeah, I think Jack didn't quite give Michael as many loose shots in that game, I thought. Didn't quite have as many winners there in that game, Michael.
So let's just see what we can...
Maybe it's John's coaching.
Exactly. I don't know. Let's just see what we're going to have when they come back after this short break. It is 2-1 to Michael Shelton-Agar, the oldest member of this tournament at age 21. Let's see what we can actually get in the fourth game very shortly.
You don't want trust me, you don't want to see Greg win top level matches.
Yeah, it is. You kidding?
So now back for the fourth game of this second match. Week 4 of the Unsquashable Premier League. We have in the blue, it is Michael Shelton-Agar, and in the white, it is Jack Conder. little bit of a comeback there to Chileshe by Jack in that third game, winning it.
Yeah, looks like we've got a match in our hands. Looked like it was going to be quite a quick 3-0 based off the first 2 sets.
Well, that is the key with these two players. You don't get the predictable.
Yeah, no, ties can change, can't they? Yeah, we've seen that. I think it's Jack needs a crucial start in this game.
So what we did see in the third was a bit more patience and a few unforced errors from Shelton-Agar, but patience from Jack. A little bit forcing the ball too much there.
Yeah, I think he just should have tried to defend that ball. When Jack's shot choice is good, he dominates. Ooh.
Okay, so unlit there, are we happy with that?
I'm not sure what the
I'm not sure what the net is actually for.
I heard some of it might have been out. I'm not sure what shot.
So good to have people tuning in from Australia, and we have Omar, who is an Egyptian. Great to have you. And no doubt, Omar, you've had plenty of people to support over the last several years. Just about the entire top 10 of male and female. I think at one stage it was 6 Egyptians in the men and the women. So let's see what we can, what Jack Conder can come up with here. The 17-year-old, the pinball, throws himself around, bounces off walls. But he is down 2 sets to 1. Oh, nice shot, worked it well.
Some good pickups there from both players.
Yeah, from both. It was just in the end that Jack was in a position where he could pick either side.
Yeah, I think Michael had to guess that one, didn't he? Fortunately, he only guessed that one wrong.
And Tim, how was the instant coffee?
Yeah, no, it was good. Got a bit cold at the end there. Took me a while to drink it, but no, it was decent.
And now both players really
It's a great shot.
whipping at the ball, using the walls, throwing themselves about.
Yep. That's what it's all about, isn't it?
Well, how hard's the floor? There's
Yeah.
no sponging on there, is there?
Oh, tight stuff down this backhand wall.
Gee, they're tight to the wall, aren't they? Who's going to change direction first?
Oh,
There you
Michael.
go. Oh, after all that work.
Yeah.
He put in a lot of work to keep it going.
Yeah, he
Keep
did there.
focus.
It's an unforced error there for sure.
Certainly seeing a lot more patience in this game.
Yeah.
I can see Heather Finlay. She's not doing the officiating on this one.
Yeah, no.
I can see her down to the side of the court.
I think that was a good call from Hassan.
Yeah.
Personally thought that was a let.
Well, the thing is, the match is actually getting a lot closer. Neither player wants to lose
No.
after putting in the effort. And there's been no question that's been way out of line.
Yeah, no, definitely not.
Oh,
Definitely been a few calls in this game though.
gee.
It's a good block. I can't go to the ball because I'm right in my line. They're doing the interference. Oh, I wasn't. I was behind him. Oh, I don't get that. What was it? I saw that. They're doing the interference. I was behind him and stuff.
I think, to my mind on that one, Jack could have got to it. I don't think Michael was in the way completely.
Yeah, I think he was slightly in the way, and then by the time Jack got around, I think because the shot quality was too good, he sort of wanted to let. Those are quite tough decisions though when it's, you know. So I think,
That's a good shot. So they're now moving 1 point ahead. It was a tough process for Shelton-Agar to get that lead. Oh, there's a great change of direction. Good retrieve.
good get.
And a stroke on that.
Tough call there, I think. What do you reckon on that one?
I think it was a tough call, but not beyond
outrageous.
doubt. Yeah,
Yeah,
it wasn't
no.
outrageous, that's
Yeah.
for sure. If anybody's got any thoughts watching about whether the calls are good, bad, or otherwise, let us know. But this fourth game has certainly been quite tight.
Yeah.
That's why they've been calling. That's
Yeah,
why they've been
yeah,
actually asking the questions. They're tight.
Yeah, the match is getting quite tight. The pace is going up, then slowing down, then going up, and slowing
sure.
down, isn't it?
Yeah, it's been a good variation of pace in the fourth game.
Yeah. Can't quite tell who's changing the pace.
No.
Looks like both. It looks like
Yeah,
they both
it
are.
is. It's one of those matches. It's difficult to predict and difficult to figure who's doing what. Well, the 3-point lead
Yeah.
now.
Quick
He's
couple
got that
points there
buffer.
for Jack.
Well, between these two, we've seen 5 game matches before.
Yeah.
Well, on that shot there, Shelton-Agar went to take the racket back and he
Almost hit him, yeah.
yeah. That's a fair call.
Yeah.
I was trying to push it too much.
I think Jack's been playing that backhand drop quite a lot from the back and the front of the court, which is interesting. I wonder if that's a tactic.
I don't know if that was the best shot to just play it down the middle. Oh, nice work off the volley.
Oh, shot. It's a great finish there.
Wow. So there we are. We are going to 5, so you will be delayed a little bit tomorrow.
Nah. Yeah.
We'll be back for the 5th in just a moment. Into the 5th game now, and it's been entertaining so far. Look at that, right into the corner there. It is Michael Shelton-Agar, the 21-year-old from the Remuera club in Auckland, against Jack Conder, who's in the white shirt, the 17-year-old from the Titirangi club in West Auckland. And with me now, Chileshe, and as we'd expected from these two players, it's been everything they expected, which is unpredictability.
Yeah. Unpredictable squash, yeah.
And if you're wondering about any noise in the background, it is heavy rain. It's very heavy rain on the roof. That's where you've got to love an indoor sport.
No.
I don't think you can call for that one, Jack. I think he was wanting that in sign language. I'm not sure what it meant there.
Just can't hear it, can you, with that rain? Oh, great dive.
Oh,
Go to the back
and a
to
pickup. Oh, no.
Oh,
Oh, goodness. It was a dive. The ball was hit back in his direction.
Yeah.
He got up quick.
it's quite hard to change directions like that, though.
Oh. Yeah, exactly. Watch out, Paul Cole was the comment. Indeed. Well played there. It was Shelton-Agar up 4-1. A point back for Jack Conder. Yeah.
Had to think about that one there, Hussey.
Yeah.
That's a good call, though. Good start from Michael. Quick points here, isn't it?
Good coverage by Jack again. Oh, he's certainly getting a few balls which you wouldn't expect.
Yeah. Was that a frame, that one? Couldn't quite see that one. I actually thought it was down. Might know,
Yeah, it was quite difficult
Yeah.
to see. I mean, the thing is with someone like Jack is that he gets to those balls and you sort of almost question them. Oh, that's a wasted shot. So there's been a couple of unforced errors by both players in the 5th game. So if they can cut those back.
Maybe it's nerves. Last tournament.
That or tiredness perhaps.
Last set, yeah. Just tight squash. This is a good rally here from Jack.
Stayed in. Oh. That is 17-year-old Jack Conder against 21-year-old Michael Shelton-Agar. Oh.
It's funny seeing both players walk to the box before the call's even been
Yeah, exactly.
decided. Find that funny.
Gee, teeing off on the backhand return. A lot of talking going on. In fact, if I was the official, I'd just say can't hear you, it's raining too much.
Yeah. I can't actually hear what they're saying. But I'm still laughing. Oh. It's going to be the luckiest shot I've ever seen. Good time for it.
Well, let's see, after a 4-1 lead, it appears that Shelton-Agar's just, I wouldn't say dropped the ball, but he's let it slip.
Yeah. He has.
Nice recovery again. These two have played a number of long matches throughout the tournament. whether it's against each other or other players.
Oh, so hard to see from up here, isn't it? I thought that was good.
Yeah,
I'm glad I'm not in the hot seat riffing.
nice recovery and good tactics there from Jack.
Oof. It's coming down to the wire.
Oh, definitely. And we do have the long and short rule.
Oh, we do.
Yeah,
We'll get to that.
we'll explain that in just one moment about the long and short. Shot. So with long and short, if you get to 10 all, the one opponent gets to choose if they want to play next point wins or up to 13. Is that correct?
Yep. Next point wins or up to 13.
Oh, great. Another dive, long shot, and any thoughts there, Tim?
Yeah, I just see a subtle block there from Michael, but it was a loose shot from Jack, so
Yeah.
very subtle. He did just pretty much take his space.
I think
I think the shot quality was just so good that it's just really frustrating, isn't it?
Jack was in trouble anyway.
Yeah, it was in trouble, yeah, loose shot. Michael took a space, which you're fully allowed to do.
It's a shame to finish it that way, but it is a win in 5 to Michael Shelton-Agar over Jack Conder. Entertaining all the way through.
Yeah, very entertaining.
A lot of sprawls on the ground from both players as well. And just one of those things. They worked it hard to get into that 5th, and in the end it is Shelton-Agar winning that match. There it was 11-8 in the 5th. So well done to all the players, to both the players there. And we get ready now for the first of the Premier Division, and that will be Joel Arscott against Elijah Thomas. That should be another good one. They played in the final of week 2, didn't they?
Yes.
What's the final?
Yes, final of week 2. Semi-finals of week 1. Yep.
Yeah, so the two of them there. Looking forward to that match. Not too far away for it either. So I'll let you go, Tim, and get ready for your match, which is against Leo Fatialofa, and that's not too far away either.
Sweet. Thanks, Dave.
All right, no worries, Tim. Thank you.
Is this guy relevant to anyone?
Does anybody want to give him a
Does anyone care about this dude? Anyone care?
I got a penalty. He just got it. Does he deserve a new ball?
No.
No.
Where's your money? Where's your money? Yeah. I'll take on the court, mate. I'd hate to hit you.
I would love it.
And welcome back for this, the third match of day 1, week 4. It is the final week of the Unsquashable Premier League. And on court in the orange is Elijah Thomas, the 17-year-old, ranked 257. In the red is Joel Arscott, I guess the top seed when it comes to rankings. He is 235 in the world. He's won, what was it, week 2? Yes, it was week 2 over Elijah Thomas. And joining me now, some commentary and thoughts, is Hassan Patan. Great to have you, Hassan. It's a little bit loud around here because the rain is coming down pretty hard on the ceiling, isn't it?
Yeah, you'll notice that when I was riffing the last game, players were finding it very hard to hear the decisions and the score when that rain started pouring down, especially since we're in an industrial warehouse, obviously. So it's very, very noisy when it starts pouring down outside with rain.
It is a top court, the only permanent glass court in New Zealand, but the rain today or tonight in New Zealand, certainly in Auckland, has been fairly solid.
Yeah. It's been a week of misery, you could say.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So our official, you've been replaced as an official, which I don't know if you're okay with that.
No, I'm completely fine with it, honestly. It's been a very good experience to be able to ref these high quality, PSA and world ranking level matches, because obviously my experience as a ref is it's not very noteworthy per se. I normally just do reffing in a club environment and maybe some during national tournaments and stuff like that. So it's a very good experience to be able to ref high caliber players such as these, because it really makes you think about the reasons why you give calls, etc., etc. It's a very, very good experience.
And also on a glass court, does that make it different for you?
Yeah, definitely, because with the ref's position, it's almost, because it's slightly more towards the forehand side, it's a bit hard to see whether the ball goes out on the backhand wall, especially if it's nice and high. And I guess for me personally, pickups are my little niggle, it's a little, I find it a little hard to see pickups, but if it's definite, it's definite, and if I'm unsure, I just play a let. Yeah.
Right, already underway here, and as expected, long rallies, regimented play, which is very much part of Elijah's game and Joel's game as well.
Yeah.
Both players holding the racket up, the grip just a little bit further than some of the others that we've already seen. A nice change of direction.
Yeah, these two are very structured players, as we've seen in the past. You can almost see both of them just holding on the backhand side, trying to bait the other opponent out. They both really love that backhand volley as much as they play it as much as they can. It's very, very interesting to see, because obviously Elijah's up and coming, but Joel's, as a pro, he's kind of already developed this really structured play, and Elijah's kind of mimicking it in a way. So, Elijah's playing really well for his age.
Very lengthy rally as well.
Yeah.
These players don't give much away when it comes to emotion.
Nah.
It's pretty stony-faced, isn't it?
Yeah. That's very true. Often you'll hear Joel talk about around the club, kind of body language on the court, right? And you'll see, he'll mention, whether your head's up when you're receiving a serve, etc., etc. Just, giving that confident body language, making sure, it's very open, very controlled, not letting the other person control you. It's a very big part of his game.
Yes.
It really helps him a lot, as you can see with the structure. In this rally, he's taking control from the front. Elijah's kind of moving around him. Elijah's having to react to him, and that's a beautiful drop there.
Oh, good play. Yeah, it's going to be a long match in that sense, and that both players aren't going to go for risky winners. They'll leave that to someone like Leo Fatialofa in the next match. He's the shot maker.
Yeah. Very fun person to watch, honestly. You never know what you're going to get with Leo. And there's quite a few players, obviously, that have played in this in the Unsquashable Premier League in past. Obviously, last week we had Lance Beddoes, who's a similar type player.
Oh, the die.
That's a very good shot by Elijah.
Well, he should know that, though. He knows these courts, and we've known over the last 3 weeks that just in that corner, particularly in the evening matches, not so much the afternoon, but in the evening matches, the ball does have a little tendency to die in that corner.
Yeah, definitely.
So these players know it.
Yeah.
You probably have to take a short stutter or a short step to actually just move in closer to it.
Yeah. Ooh, what's the call going to be here? Oh, yeah. Very good call by the national ref.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
you always want practice, whether it's a player or whether it's as a referee,
Yeah.
just to keep yourself on your toes, don't you?
Definitely, yeah.
So feel free to let us know where you are watching from. We know that we have Leanne and I'm sure Paul Arscott are there in Brisbane. Oh, letting the ball drop very low, dangerous there.
Yeah.
Nice lob. Right into it.
This is interesting. Elijah's kind of turned the same tactic on Joel, trying to control the rally, but one loose shot and it changes. It's really interesting to watch that dynamic where one shot changes the whole structure of the rally, you know?
And there's the shot that Elijah Thomas loves, playing that backhand on the full. He can disguise it either way. Yeah, seems a clear let there. I think it's also about asking the question of the referee, not so much for a let or a stroke or anything there, it's just reconfirming the score as well.
Yeah, definitely, yeah. Especially, normally in a normal environment you'd have like a referee and a marker,
Yeah,
but
so
obviously
makes it easier.
obviously over here we just have the one referee doing the marking as well. So there's beautiful shot, Joel. That's uncharacteristic for him, but it's good to see that he can play that as well. Obviously in his wide range as a pro.
They can all hit winners.
Yeah.
It's just a matter of choosing when to.
Yeah.
Ooh. Recovered.
Ooh, what a get.
There's the turn.
That was smart by Joel, hitting it down the middle. Threw Elijah off a little bit from the front.
Nice movement and good angle. A lot of running below
This is a good
Elijah.
rally.
Use that corner well. The thing, what you saw there in the early part of that rally was a turn, which seems to be the move which Elijah Thomas can do. He's very good at doing the turn as he runs backwards, and a lot of players really struggle with that. Whereas it's almost his signature move.
Yeah, he's kind of incorporated into his movement, obviously. All that efficient movement that he's been practicing. And obviously you see all these high caliber players already have his defined movement. It's very interesting to see, like, for example, Joel will be very, very efficient moving into the back corners. Like, it takes him almost 2 steps to get back to the tee from the back. Like, it's very... Like, I can't imagine playing to that kind of level at my level, obviously, which is a very low club level. But just to see that kind of movement is very interesting.
And there we go, putting it away. The first game, 10-5. Make that 11-5. Pretty quick fashion as well.
Yeah.
Just over 7 minutes. A little bit quicker than what we expected after a couple of early rallies, which were lengthy.
Yeah.
So 11-5 there in the end.
It's a good start for Elijah, definitely. I mean, against a guy like Joel, I mean, I'm sure he'll be recapping his week 2 final loss in 5 to Joel. Like, getting the first game, that's a very good start for him.
Well, we should explain that this week 4 is actually round robin.
Yep.
There is the Division 1, which we saw Glenn Templeton, Jack Conder, Shelton-Agar, and also Upper Fatialofa. And now the Premier Division, which is Joel Arscott, it is Elijah Thomas, Leo Fatialofa, and Chileshe. So those are the 2 divisions which we have there. Coming back with the second game in just a moment of this, the Unsquashable Premier League. So coming up now, the second game of this match between Joel Arscott in the red against Elijah Thomas in the orange. And it was Elijah Thomas taking the first game 11-5, around about 7.5 points. And Hassan wasn't quite what we expected. We probably were thinking of a score a little bit closer.
Yeah, definitely. Especially because we already mentioned the way both these players play. We're expecting long, grinding rallies. And that for the first 5 minutes of that, yes, definitely. Towards the end of the game, it was just a lot more quicker, higher paced, and more shot play kind of in this rally.
Well, let's see what's going to eventuate in this, the second game. And great to have people from Ireland, with people from Australia, and from around New Zealand as well.
Oh, that's a good shot by Joel. Yeah, that's probably the right call in that situation.
I mean, it was difficult for Elijah to get out of the way. He was going to set it in that corner anyway. Where's he meant to go?
Yeah.
It's got to be pretty quick to get out.
Yeah. And Joel was just onto him real quickly as well.
Nice recovery.
Oh, here we
There's
go.
the backhand. Ooh, scooped it out of that corner.
Oh, that's an amazing hit from Joel. Oh, and the mistake by Elijah.
That was one of those shots that you expect yourself to win.
Yeah, definitely. You only play that if you're going to win the rally. But obviously a guy like Joel, with his amazing movement, wow, what a shot. With his amazing movement, will tend to get most of those balls very easily. So in the end, it only becomes a shot to put him under pressure, really, to move him off the tee into the front.
And a much better start for Joel Arscott here. He's up 5-1. What we have noticed with these two players is, I wouldn't say they're checking each other, but they know how to play against each
definitely.
other. They're not big blocks, they're subtlety.
Yeah. It's almost like they recognize each other's movement is so ingrained and it's such a good pattern, and they're trying to disrupt that pattern and see where it takes them, you know? Yeah. You'll see a lot of, at the start obviously we've seen there's been a lot of body and interference between both these players, and it's just a little tactic to see who can adjust and who gets thrown off the most.
Nice change of direction, but good recovery. And so we do have two players here who have world rankings. It is Joel Arscott with 235 in the world, and around about 20 places further back, 237, make that 257, is Elijah Thomas. The unfortunate thing is for these players, a number of the players here is trying to earn more points with limited, in fact no PSA satellites or challenges at the moment. Probably for a few months as well.
Definitely, it's a very, very hard situation that squash is going through right now, where currently in terms of professionals, they don't have too much to kind of look forward to. I mean, it's good news to hear like clubs in New Zealand, and now we're starting to hear some states in Australia and parts of the world getting on the court, but in terms of the high level professionals, it's very hard. That's uncharacteristic by Elijah.
That was, I mean, he recovered, but I think Joel was also a little surprised that he missed it as well.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, see, you can see Elijah was stuck behind Joel there. It was a very smart play.
Yeah, so the unfortunate thing is, for New Zealand and Australia are going to be in a trans-Tasman bubble very shortly.
Yep.
However, I don't know if the PSA is going to allow satellite or challenger, if it can only be New Zealand Australia
Yeah,
players.
true. It's very, very interesting because obviously the movement in terms of rankings is going to be only limited to these oceanic players unless.
I mean, no one's going to move in the rankings,
Yeah.
so but it's just when these players really want to get ahead, they're
Yeah.
helping.
Yeah, true. They'll have a little bit of an advantage, which is kind of where the PSA comes in, kind of trying to figure out what to do in this kind of situation.
Now, in this second game, we've seen Elijah just a little bit off in the last few points, missing the ball completely for a moment, and also just timing not quite what we'd expect.
Yeah, I think it's a strong start by Joel to
Yeah.
put him off a little bit because he's obviously playing from behind, which is nobody likes playing from behind, especially being
Oh, when you're
9-3
down by 5 points as well.
Yeah, it's a very, very hard position to play from. It will throw professionals like Elijah off. But you can see Joel's in his element, obviously playing as a dominant player, controlling the rally.
Just to move forward to the
there's
tee.
another error by Elijah.
We didn't expect a score like this. Still a way to go. Only 1 point for Joel, but the hardest point to win is the last point.
Yeah. Because we know Elijah, he's not the type of player to give up, especially on the last point.
No.
It's a great shot.
That's what you've got to do, is just take your time, play to your strength.
Yeah,
Don't let the opposition dictate the game.
definitely.
So a couple of points back from 3-10 down to 5-10 down. Long way to go to force it,
Yeah.
but still that'll give them a little bit more confidence to win back 2 or 3 points.
And that's the game.
Okay, so 11-5 there in the end. Joel
Yeah.
Arscott coming back to take that second game. Hassan, I think it was just that lead that he got early on, right?
Yeah, almost a reversal of the first game that we observed. So it'll be interesting to see how Elijah responds to this in terms of what kind of game plan he's going to approach the next game with.
Yeah, it comes down to a refocus, whether he can come out and win the first few points and refocus from there. So 1 game all at the present time in this match between Joel Arscott and Elijah Thomas. Right, we're back with the third game, and the score's totally locked up. a game all, 11-5 to Elijah Thomas in the first, and Joel Arscott 11-5 in the second. And as I said, Azam, that's the score lines have been a little bit easier than what we've expected.
Yeah, definitely. It's interesting because these two players obviously have played each other in the final of week 2, and that scoreline obviously went to 5, and it was very close games, except for the 5th one. And now we're kind of seeing it's almost like they know each other a lot better now, and they've kind of figured out how they're going to play each other. So you're going to see a lot of variation compared to what we saw in week 2. Oh, what a shot by Elijah.
Yeah. That's a nice affirmative shot to get yourself back into the game.
Nice, good rally along the backhand side. This is what we tend to expect a lot more from these two.
Yeah, we expected more of this. Now who's going to change first? Oh, there you go, it is with Joel switching across. Not quite, not enough on that. So let's see who can get to the tee, who can dominate from the front on this.
Yeah.
Use that corner. Too much? Just a couple of points there that Joel was perhaps a little bit, I wouldn't say off on, but he maybe needed to take an extra step. Didn't need to push it quite so hard on that one.
Oh, good hit by Elijah. It's very harsh for Elijah.
Yeah, he doesn't usually miss those ones.
No.
That's one of his shots that he likes doing.
Yeah. I think it's interesting to note that obviously it's getting colder now, so the ball's very quick to die back now, and also that goes for the front as well. But dropping into the front, like you see there, just dies very quickly.
He's recovered well. Late on that one. Very difficult to call the shot and call the question because the player was moving so quick.
Yeah, definitely. Especially like kind of 5-1 to Joel.
Yeah, this is the same as last time.
Yeah. Let's see how Elijah responds to this. It's quite interesting with the call because normally the idea is you kind of have a snapshot in your mind of when they call the let, and then you kind of make the call off that. But obviously, you have to consider a little bit of extra circumstances, like was there impediment of the movement before he called the let? Has he played through, etc., etc. So it's almost very interesting where you get questions asked about consistent reffing. What a shot! You get questions asked about consistent reffing and whether is it all right if you make the wrong call but you ref consistently to that standard, like it's a very interesting topic. Oh, that's a tight shot. See, they've upped the pace up a little bit. And now Joel's just trying to slow it down by lifting it.
That's a bit of shot.
Ooh.
Okay, here's the silly question to someone officiating. What do you think would happen if there was just called no lets?
Oh, that's a very...
Yeah, no, that's something that you can think about that. Answer, you don't have to answer it right now.
Yeah. Just the idea, because obviously that we have calls in squash, obviously it make games as clean as possible. And if you were to have no lets constantly, then you could almost, in a way, influence your opponent a lot easier because there's no degree to which you can interfere with them. It's always going to be a no let, you see. Ooh, that's a good lob.
Just stayed in. Where's he set up for that? Oh, it was close to the wall though.
Oh, the shot. Yeah, very consistent riffing.
I guess that's the other thing. You've got to be consistent, whether it's the first point or the last point.
Yeah, yeah.
You can't just say, "Oh, it's near the end of the match. I don't want to call you for that."
Yeah, yeah, definitely. That's a very, very unfortunate. Popped out on the sidewall and Elijah got caught out there.
Yeah, he got caught. He knew that.
Yeah.
They're really jostling for that centre position, aren't
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
they? So feel free to let us know any thoughts, where you are, or if there's any particular support for any particular player. You can see the intensity in this match, and we're only in the third game. Oh, good change of direction. Oh. He's coming back into the rallies.
Elijah's got out of trouble very well.
Yeah, I think in that sense, Elijah was in the right there.
It was a very good recovery because he had Joel controlling
Yeah.
that rally for most of it, and then Elijah just hits that shot. Very good recovery shot on the back, and all of a sudden, tables turn.
So let us know what you think, any decisions, or if you have a thought on the play itself. Don't forget, we also have another match coming up after this. It's a shot. That's a nice winning
That's a
shot.
good shot.
So we do have Chileshe against Leo Fatialofa. That'll be entertaining for sure. Oh, it's another forehand winner.
You can see the score lines.
Yeah, 5-7 now.
Elijah's kind of recovered in terms of the score, and it's kind of, you can see Joel got that early lead, but now Elijah's stepping up the tempo, trying to move Joel off. Keeps Joel's movement very reactive rather than letting Joel control the rally.
Well, a couple of forehand winners have helped with that.
Yeah, definitely.
I think this is really a vital point. 5-7 down for both players. That's
Ooh.
nice.
That's a good shot by Joel.
Stayed low and was close to the wall as well.
Yeah.
Good change of direction. Good pickup. He's going to go.
Oh, that's a good get, but unfortunately,
Good. I think the Finlay did call it.
yeah, but the players couldn't hear the referee
Yeah.
calling the ball out.
No, it was definitely out. You can. I think the players were curious anyway, but sometimes you just can't tell whether it's at the court level or this level.
Yeah, yeah, definitely.
So
Yeah, it's very hard to see the pickups from
yeah,
up in the ref's positions.
I think wherever you are, it's going to be hard to see the pickups when you've got the bodies moving around as
Yeah,
well.
definitely. Joel's obviously both players are really, really fit, and Joel's trying to unsettle Elijah with this movement, and that means that Elijah in the end has to work a lot more, which gives him a decided advantage leading into the next game.
Yeah, so it's just been these last 2 or 3 points which has really helped Joel out. It was 5-7. Elijah coming back a little bit, and then these last 3 points. It was a good shot.
Well, that's a great finish.
Yeah. So 11-5, that is game 3, and it is now 2-1 to Joel Arscott.
Yeah, and that's probably been the longer game out of the games we've seen so far, and obviously you could see the longer rallies towards the end of that, even though the scoreline doesn't reflect it as much.
All right, we'll come back with the 4th game in just a moment, and thank you very much to Hassan Batan for helping me out here. He's done officiating and now he's commentating. Goodness. Back now for the 4th game, with Joel Arscott leading 2-1 over Elijah Thomas, who is now wearing all white. A considered thought there by Heather Finlay and Yes Let. It is Joel Arscott in the red t-shirt, unsquashable t-shirt. Runner-up last week to Chileshe, and winner of week 2 over Elijah Thomas. Just about every single corner there.
Wow, it's really wide variety of shots. Oh, that's very unfortunate for Elijah.
It's quite an energetic first rally, wasn't it, Hassan?
Yes, definitely. Hopefully a good sign of things to come.
So when you're umpiring, when you're refereeing or officiating, you get the players midway through the rally almost pointing or calling, so maybe want to question that, but we've still got to play on.
Yeah, it's almost like some players are very honest about it, and the refs obviously very appreciate that a lot, because they're very honest about whether it's out or whether it's pickup is down, is dodgy or something like that. But some players almost use it to get into the mind of the ref to make them doubt themselves. Obviously here it's very nice here because you can play a let for anything you're unsure of as a ref. and especially with this call, especially on the backhand, whether it's out or not, it's very, very hard for the ref to see. So most calls will just be a let. And most of the players are very honest and open about it. We've got another rally alongside the backhand, and then there's a forehand.
Ooh, just scooped away from his body.
Ooh.
That was
Very-
his second scoop.
Very jammy rally.
So it has been over the last couple of games that Elijah Thomas has really had to force his way trying to get into a rally. He hasn't been able to dominate the tee or dominate going forward.
Yep.
His volley shot, there it is, hasn't worked as well as what he's wanted.
No, it hasn't, but now you can
Although
see.
it just did then. As soon as I said
Yeah.
it wasn't, it did.
It's a commentator's curse. You say
It is.
something's good, it's bad. If you say something's bad, they just end up doing the opposite on court. Very good use of height by Elijah early in the rally, especially to get himself out of pressure on the backhand side. Very hard to see that.
Gee.
I
Scooping out.
wouldn't be surprised if one of the players was dead after this. Very hard to see.
Oh, a lot of recovery from Elijah Thomas and scooping the ball.
Oh,
Did that stick?
ooh.
I think it was actually in. It only just.
That was very hard to call.
I think it hit just below the line.
Yeah. We'll see what the
Oh,
outcome
here we go.
is.
He's got the opportunity.
Oh, that's it.
Strike to Arscott, hand down 3 all.
Very confident, very clear calling by the ref on that. That was a very important rally for the game as well.
Yeah, I think so. And there was close to being out on the
Yeah,
front wall with the height. But I think both players could feel the intensity of it as well.
Yeah, that was a very important rally. And as you can see, Elijah's a bit more tired.
4-3.
You can see Joel still very controlled, very calm. You're starting to see a bit more emotion on Elijah's face.
4-3.
I didn't feel so much inclined for a let on that. I'd be useless as an official.
Nah, I mean, yeah, it depends. It's all in the eyes of the ref. Like, you could give that a let because obviously the ref feels there's room to play, or whereas some refs would feel that, oh, Elijah definitely obstructed, Joel then would have a stroke. It's all kind of in the eyes of the ref, but as long as it's consistent, there's no complaints or no issues.
5-3.
So let's see what we can do from here. It's been a little bit of a comeback the last 2 or 3 points there for Joel Arscott. Holding the racket really high up the grip on the serve in particular. He
Yeah.
moves it down slightly.
Yeah, so with the higher grip, obviously he gets a lot more control.
Yeah.
Oh, there's a let there for hitting him on the backswing. With the higher grip, he gets a lot more control, and obviously,
Particularly on a backhand serve
yeah,
as well.
definitely. And then obviously, the lower your grip, the more power you're playing with. Just comment up there from John again saying just play it, obviously. Once the fast-paced, continuous game, we've had 2 lets in a row. Oh, it's a beautiful drop by Elijah. Oh,
Now that's what we actually want to see from you, because we know you can do that, Elijah. It just hasn't quite come off in these last 2 games.
yeah.
Timing hasn't quite been there.
Oh, there's another drop.
Oh, well done. And there was a lot of work put into the rally there by Elijah Thomas.
Yeah.
Don't forget to feel free to make any comments. Any thoughts on the game? Any thoughts on the let or a particular shot?
Very interesting on this court because A lot of these high shots, especially you see them off the serve. Oh, it's a beautiful shot by Elijah, still in it though. Oh, what retrieval by Joel.
Close to no lead?
Yeah, definitely close to a no lead. Yeah. So obviously there's no question there was definitely not going to be a stroke call there. It was between a no lead and a lead. Very generous, but it's also very fair as well, because obviously there was very messy movement from both players, so there's definitely been interference. Just very good officiating. Very consistent.
Great to have the explanation. We do appreciate that.
You just see a fist pump from Joel there.
Yeah, getting that one back was important for him.
Yeah, definitely. 3-point buffer, always nice to have.
Let it drop very low. Let's see who can play the length the best.
Oh, what a retrieval. Still in it. I think Joel was expecting it to be a little bit wider.
He knew that one. There was no question about
no
it.
question. Oh.
Now we do have someone was mentioning it was a stroke before when there was the question over calls.
Yeah, like I said before, it's all. I mean, in hindsight, you could go over these calls, seeing it through a TV screen, and you could argue for anything really.
Well, we're back to 7 apiece now, and that was a couple of quick points there. Ooh.
Very interesting use of height.
Pushing the buck, aren't you?
So as I was mentioning before, not sure if I finished my point or not, but with the use of height in this court, it's almost interesting because some players feel that the lights are an advantage in terms of if you do a high serve or a high shot during a rally, you have to look up right into the lights. And obviously some players are fine with it, but some players feel a bit discomforted. Oh, that's uncharacteristic from Joel.
Well, the other thing is both these players have played around enough.
Yeah,
it's not like
definitely.
they just turned up.
Yeah.
And the other thing is, they're pushing it now. They've really stepped it up and going for a few more shots.
Yeah.
It's coming off and not coming off.
They need the points basically. Elijah trying to get to the fifth and Joel always trying to keep it, close it out.
That's a miss.
That's a good shot.
Yeah.
Oh, so 2 quick points for Joel there.
Yeah, 2 quick points for Joel. Prior to that was 2 quick points for Elijah.
It'll be interesting to see if this goes to long or short because both players. Both players want like long rallies, but you never know. I'm kind of hoping hope that if it goes 10-all, that one of them says short.
No, that's a Fatialofa thing. Just get a short, wouldn't it?
Yeah, it was interesting when Lance was playing Leo, and it was exactly that situation in the fifth, and they opted for the long game. Lifeline for Elijah.
Yeah, that was.
He was under pressure that time.
I'm not sure if he would have been able to get to anything, and even if he had, whether he would be able to make anything of it.
Let's see what Joel does now. Is he going to attempt to close out, or is he just going to keep it really nice and long? Just try to get broke into Elijah's legs.
Now he's got to get on the full.
Oh, it's 10-all. Come on, surely. Yep, as expected. As expected, the call is long, so we're going to play 13.
That was.
Got the first half of my wish, not the second half though.
Well, they were asking. That shot was asking for it.
Yeah. Interesting how both players about to finish the rally off, make errors. And now we're in this kind of situation. You can feel the tension here a little bit. Everybody's downstairs is baited, sitting with bated breath, seeing who's going to win this rally. Ooh. So we have the lead on that. And it's still 10 off.
Not quite. You're getting quite into this. I am as well. It's between these two players. You know you're going to have this sort of contest.
Yeah, definitely. Everybody just standing up and watching. Oh, that's very... Forgot for a moment that it was going to long, going to 13. Oh, interesting. By Joel. Oh wow. Elijah. So that call is a stroke, and now Joel sitting with match ball. Yeah, very, very hard way to finish on a call, but it is what it is. Very interesting match.
Well, nice comeback there from Joel Arscott, but gee, that was a tough one, that last game, going into the tiebreak as such, and it was Joel Arscott winning 13-10. Hassan, you enjoy that, particularly that last game?
Definitely. Like, obviously, you never want to end on a call, but you know, if it's like that, then it is what it is.
Yeah, and it was wow. Gee, I was going to say it was a tough call by the official. Yeah. It was tough to make the call.
Yeah, definitely, especially on a match ball.
Yeah,
but it is what it is, and Joel has got the victory over Elijah.
Yeah, so there we go. That was a 4-game victory there for Joel Arscott, defeating Elijah Thomas. Next up on court in just a couple of moments, we will have Temwa Chileshe against Leo Fatialofa. Back with that one in just a few moments' time.
It's fair enough. I mean, he was clear. There's an argument. There's no but equally, no, I agree. No, I agree. said to him, last week, the first 2 or 3 games, he kind of, okay, I didn't like his tone, but he ended with you and he moved on. So I'm okay with the mental side, he's just got to change his tone. Okay? But then I said to him, okay, you were arguing, you weren't moving on, and you lost the string of points. I said, you have to decide, either you get better, you have to change your tone to get better.
Yeah.
Secondly, you either have to get better through the whole match and not getting frustrated, or you have to do a full hold it. So change your tone, yes. Non-negotiable. And then the argument is, if you cannot hold your full, don't do it.
Yeah. That's what I mean, because I know it's frustrating.
Yeah, never. Almost never. No, never. I mean, and they don't change the next one either. You start doing the next one. That doesn't work either, bro. You know? Does it?
You asked me a couple of times and I told them why I thought and it's moved on. It's what you need to do. No, it's good because I didn't say I know. Because I normally get good.
Don't take this the wrong way.
That's what I would do.
I think we're working better tonight.
Yeah. Everything around me out.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back for this, the final match of day 1, week 4, the Unsquashable Premier League. And after that 4-game epic, it was only 4 games between Joel Arscott and Elijah Thomas, but it did seem to really have plenty of emotion and intensity. It was Joel Arscott winning 13-10. Remember, in this particular competition, once you get to 10-all, you get to call long, which means next point wins, or make that long, which means you've got to win by up to 13, or short, which is next point wins. So there you go, there's the summary. Short, next point wins, long, up to 13. And now this particular contest here, it is Chileshe and Leo Fatialofa. We know we're going to get some shot making from Leo Fatialofa, the 17-year-old ranked 380 in the world. And we have the 19-year-old Chileshe in red, ranked 337 in the world. So even if it goes to a long match or several games, we know we're going to see relatively quick rallies here because Fatialofa doesn't like doing long rallies, so that's it, full stop. But he is entertaining to watch, and Joel Arscott, congratulations on that victory.
Thank you.
It was 4 games, but it seemed like 5. It was 4 games, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was 4
seem
games.
Like a while.
Yeah, we had a long game in the 4th.
Yeah, it was.
Not sure how long it was, or time-wise, but just didn't feel too short.
No, that last game just made it stretch out, and the intensity of it as well.
Yeah, always a good intensity between me and Elijah, week in, week out, obviously, over these last few weeks. But these two got some lethal hands on court. A lot of talent in the rackets of these two. Just never know what Leo's going to do when he's on court.
Well, that's right. It's been...
Just as I say that, big 3-wall boast.
On Turmoil winning week 1 and week 3, and you won week 2.
Juicy.
And like we mentioned, you will see some shot making. That was probably not the shot exactly how we planned.
A bit more of a fluke, that one, but good shot, winning shot.
So how was the court playing tonight? As regular or anything different?
It was a bit different. I feel like last week it was a lot colder on court. Today not so much for some reason, considering we're playing a little bit later as it is a working day here in New Zealand. But no, I felt like it was quite bouncy actually, and the walls were a little bit wet, but again it's still playing like it usually would, staying very short and kind of hard to get to the back. So yeah.
Well, Nicholas Briggs says, great job on your win, and yes, it was a good job. Unusual in the first 3 games that it was 11-5, 5-11, 11-5, 11-5, so relatively short when it came to the points.
Yeah, I felt like, well, first of all, thanks Briggsy. I know Briggsy. He's a local boy in far north Queensland who's been here before on this glass court, so he knows full well how it plays. But yeah, no, it was an interesting first game. Didn't really find any rhythm at all, and Elijah came out firing, and then I feel like once I adjusted, I had a slightly long second game, and then the 3rd game I managed to grind that out, and then the 4th was kind of, I lost my momentum in the middle ground, and then managed to recoup to win 13-10 on the long call from Elijah.
Slowing it down, backhand side. Gee, that was a gentle sort of directing the ball.
Yeah, it's a great rally, and then just quick switch off that left wall. So hard to read that shot when you're just at the back of the service box because you're just settling on the tee if you're the opponent. Then all the subbits in the opposite corner. It's not very pleasant movement.
Well, he held it so late, then he took the pace off as well.
These two love a boast. Trickle boast play really well on this court.
Well, we saw Apa Fatialofa, the 15-year-old, in the first
making
match.
his appearance.
Yeah, it was A lot of good record.
A little bit different to his brother.
Yeah. He likes the drop shots a lot more. Like to play from the front a bit more.
He's a little bit straighter
Yeah.
of a player. He's still got great hands and good talent for his age, for sure.
Yeah, certainly the hands were there. Just a slightly different style.
Again, bringing the median age of this series down at 15. Is he 15? 16?
Yeah, 15.
Wow. Leo's on the back foot here. Top spin.
So there wasn't quite as much rain when you're on the court, but there was certainly a bit of rain.
It's
You
stopped
could-
now, hasn't it?
yeah, I think it was during Jack and his match against Michael.
I think that actually hit the join of one of the panels.
I think so.
And it just went straight down.
I think the thing is when you ask a referee, official, or umpire, are you sure? You're probably not going to get a change of mind, are you? Oh! That was almost a superb pickup.
I think everyone felt that one.
Oh,
That is not nice to play against.
gee. He'll play two of those down the side. He should switch. No, that's almost a three. You almost realise that Fatialofa is going to play two down the side. When it comes to three, you can switch. Oh, bit low.
Big movements. Yeah, nice straight work.
Huge variety of shots there.
Yeah, that ball seems a little bit deader in this match already. Not sure if that's me or if it is actually the conditions.
What about with the style of play? Some players hitting the ball a bit flatter, a bit more underspin.
That's true. I think me and Elijah put a bit more life into the ball, whereas these boys,
Yeah.
a lot of cut, a lot of short stuff, soft touch, so not hitting the ball as hard.
Because Leo Fatialofa tends to slice the ball a little bit more, come underneath the ball a bit more on his back.
Yeah, for sure. What a nice exchange.
Great reactions from both players.
Fiery stuff in that set.
Yeah, it was very entertaining and some great reactions from both players. So well done to Chileshe. He doesn't want to leave the court.
No.
So taking out the first game against Leo Fatialofa, Chileshe there with some entertaining rallies and great reactions from both players. We'll be back with the second game in just a moment. Right, well, that was the first game to Chileshe, 11-6. Entertaining game. Some great reactions from both players. And the pace of the game, switching the tempo up and down and using all corners of the court. Almost what you'd expect from these two in particular. And Joel Arscott with me after a good 4-game win over Elijah Thomas. A little bit different this week, Joel, with a round-robin format for this, the last week of the tournament, or the last week of the series. Does that change your mentality about it, or you?
Yeah, I'm not too sure. I think it might be a little bit subconscious. There's not really that atmosphere or that tension as there would be in a final or a semi-final or round by round. So I think as a player you subconsciously approach it a little bit different when it's a different format. As does the crowd and the fans.
I think your fans are all in Australia.
Unfortunately. Ball's staying really short with these guys. Definitely get a different kind of soreness after you play one of these two, as opposed to myself or Elijah.
So how do you describe that sort of soreness? What is the difference?
It's kind of like a sharp pain, almost. With these guys, it's a lot of fast, explosive chopping, changing.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of like either doing an agility session or like an interval session, two different things. Hard to explain, but I'm sure for some of the squash players out there, they know what I'm saying. You thought about that one a bit too much.
And is it because of the way they play that there isn't as many calls for a let in this particular match so far than you and Elijah?
Yeah, I think they have a different way of using the space on the court. You know, they're trying to create things a bit more. Whereas I think me and Elijah sort of build our rallies and again the hands. So much racket head speed from such a short swing.
Just stood his ground and was able to play it away from the body and for a winner.
Could have a strong wrist to do that. It's the other side of the holds and the sharp stuff. You can give away a lot of strokes very quickly with the way these guys move each other into the front.
Oh! Nice change of direction with this shot.
Seen that shot played a few times already, but that's the first real taxi.
Let it drop too low.
I'm sure Leo's going to get one back very soon.
Oh yeah.
Can't take that.
Oh, that's a good shot. Very short swing.
That's an example of that not so nice movement that Timwa has to endure with a hold like that. I'd say these two probably have the best, or in my opinion, the two best forehands in New Zealand. In terms of power and skill, I don't think there's anyone in New Zealand that's got the same power and skill as these two on that forehand wall.
Well, on that particular winner, it was a real hold. Swing from, not from behind, but from in front. He was just able to...
Just that racket head speed from such a short swing.
Yeah, it's a good play.
There's the contrast. Just clawed it back to 6-7. Definitely a lot shorter of a match so far.
And in the first game of this contest, it was 11-6 to Chileshe. direction. Oh, again.
He's lucky because he went for that.
Yeah.
Went for the flick to try and get Timur back, but he read it. And smashing it into the tin. Not often Timur makes many errors on that big forehand.
No, it was sitting there to be hit. It was just probably went for a little bit too much on the actual shot in the end. But don't forget, everybody, that tomorrow from 3 p.m. New Zealand time, the next round, and then again also on Sunday as well. This is the final week of the Unsquashable Premier League.
Cordy's here for Leo.
Yeah, he's coming.
Wow. Good rally.
The flicked backhand from the backhand corner right up into the forehand corner at the front.
I think that ball went into every corner in about every possible way in that rally.
You can't really coach that, can you?
No, that's definitely uncoachable.
I don't know how you. I'm trying to think how you could, but I can't.
Again, he just brings a swing out in front of him and then uses the wrist to whip the ball around.
Just the raw talent is great to see. Yeah, that's great direction.
So I think Timur had a 7-1 lead, and then
yeah, it was something like that.
Yeah, then Leo's brought it back, and now we're at 9-7. So he's regrouped. Big forehand. Absolutely glued.
All right, well, feel free to give us a thought on the actual match or matches you've seen so far. Certainly have seen some good rallies in this particular contest. Oh, great play.
Absolute nightmare to play these guys on the glass court. I mean, as you can see, you get one ball past your opponent and it's pretty much gone.
Oh, that's a good play.
Just seems
Which way
so
are we
far
gonna go
away,
here?
doesn't it?
Ooh. Usually Leo's the... Yeah, there you go. Even Tim was surprised.
Bit of out of character, for Leo. I think people thinking.
Oh, good play.
Just clipped the sideball and it stayed a lot shorter than Leo was expecting. This is the interesting thing. It's 12-10.
Yeah.
Now, traditionally that would be game or set already.
Yeah.
But he still has to get 1 point, so it just makes that a little bit more interesting.
Yeah, it does. I mean, and when someone does call short, it's fun to watch. The pace is picked up.
Oh, it's just made it up. A lot of power in those last few rallies.
Oh, yeah.
A lot of power.
Wow. There
Seems
you
to
go.
be either a lot of power or a lot of touch.
Yeah. It's a win there. So that is 2 games for Tenwa, and Yeah, entertaining. We are heading just at past 9 p.m. New Zealand time, so it is a little bit chilly outside, and some of that's coming through onto the court as well. We'll be back with the third game of this Chileshe against Leo Fatialofa very shortly. Well, after every shot in the book and every shot not in the book, it's third game that we're looking forward to now with Chileshe in the red, and in the light blue it is Leo Fatialofa and Joel Arscott. We've been impressed with the range of shots, haven't we?
Yeah, I think just the options these guys have out of each four corners is pretty much endless.
It is.
And it's so hard to play against.
It's fun to watch.
Yeah, you just don't really know what's going to happen. When you get two of them on court, it's very entertaining.
Is there a player in the top 10, top 20 that has these sort of options?
I'm sure all the top players have the options. Whether they play it or not, and how good they make it look, though, that's the trick.
Yeah.
I mean, that shot there is that's never going to come back, no matter who you're playing. I wonder what top player we would compare Leo to. It's a tricky one.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm trying to think. Maybe
I know the guy.
Egyptian, the Falcon.
The Black Falcon. That's right. Yeah. Mazen Hisham.
That's the one.
I'm not sure what he's ranked. I think it's 15, 16, somewhere around there.
Top 20.
Top 20. That guy. It's a very good.
He hams up the shot making as well.
Yeah.
He hams up the hair.
He's
everything
all about it. It's definitely his trademark. That big head of hair that he has. Here we go. Yeah,
nice.
It's just so hard to read.
Yeah, the options for the player chasing that are, you don't want to go to the wall.
No.
You've got such an open court. That's where you expect the ball to go.
But you don't want to sink onto your heels too much in the middle, because then it's pretty much gone. Not a lot getting to the back with.
But let's chop on that.
The boys right now. Shot.
Nice shot.
Big forehand finish from Tim.
Yeah, that was good. He controlled it well enough, knew where the player was going to be, and even if he was in the right spot, it was coming so low and fast.
Yeah. Inspired movement there from Leo. It's getting worked a couple rallies ago. Got to try and find his length.
Ooh, gee. So still early stages in this, the third game. It's been competitive. Let's see what Tenwai can do with a couple point leads.
Definitely seems to be a bit more on the front foot in this game.
Oh, goal. There you go. Oh, gee.
Just such tough movements.
And the thing is, he was running there. He was on the run and still able to direct it on such a precise angle.
Just opting to run through the shot and then flick it to the other corner.
Oh, ooh.
He's looking a little bit fatigued now.
Yeah.
Leo. Understandable.
There was a shot that Elijah hit, although he missed it initially against you. That I think you were surprised as well, that it just completely missed the shot, but able to recover it.
Yeah, I think that's just those. When it comes off the sidewalls at the moment, you only know what's going to happen because it's a little bit slippery. And you can completely fluff it. And in that case, I think he completely missed it. And then
Yeah, he completely missed it.
ran through, and the ball ran through the back, and he managed to get it. But yeah, very, very irritating as a player.
Yeah.
So it makes you feel and look
Well, it just makes
very
you feel,
silly.
It makes you feel silly.
Yeah. And it's actually quite hard to see watching the stream as well when it skids off those walls. Great touch. He's caught it back again though to 6-all.
Well, he did that in the second game where he was
Yeah.
down by about 1-7 and came back, and to a certain extent anyway.
I guess that's the sort of the beauty of this court. You can actually get some quick points.
That's better.
He's tried that flick a number of times in the front left, but it hasn't worked out for him.
That's two.
Oh, he's got it.
Oh, we tried it again. Came off the first time, not quite so much on the second.
I think he got about half a dozen of those against me last week, but not today, unfortunately. Another one of those shots that nice to watch, not nice to play against.
No.
So it was 6-all, now 9-6.
Well, he just managed to get those 3-point lead, now down to 2-point lead. If you have a lead against Leo Fatialofa, you have to hammer it home.
You cannot settle, that's for sure. Know that from experience. He's got 3 match balls though, Timler. Oh, you read it.
On the floor.
Guessed right, but just hitting the frame. So 1 back.
Yeah, he's won a lot of points taking those shots from around the body,
Yep.
up close to the wall almost.
Oh, yeah.
There we go.
He's done well to close
That
it.
is it. Closes it out. 11-6 in the end. Straight games, albeit a tight straight game contest. That is a win there to Chileshe, 11-6 over Leo Fatialofa. That concludes this evening's games. Don't forget, back tomorrow, 3 o'clock, for more round robin of this, the final week of the Unsquashable Premier League.
Yeah, no worries, bro. Got it. Hi, Kinsey. Thanks for that.
No problem. So last week when I arrived home, matey rang me,
I do.
and I said to him,
Did he hear you talking about it?
no, because he rang, remember, and phoned me off, and I'm like,
Oh, yeah, yeah.
and he goes, and I said, I was roofing when you rang. He says, oh, he says, don't you know you can put it on silent or something? And I thought, zip it, don't say what you want to do there. See you later. Sorry about the first call of the fourth game. Should have been a straight one, not a let. Sorry. I put my hand up for my mistakes. I don't know if I've earned it today. But I love one. You love one? Thank you. See, no problem.
Thanks, John. See you, mate.
See you
See you guys
later.
later. John? Yes. Yeah, no, sure. Thanks. No. Yeah, okay. Then we'll go. Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, tonight I'm not thirsty.